Hey creators, welcome back to the channel. Today we're tackling something that is absolutely crucial for any manga, comic, or webtoon artist looking to hook their readers: plot devices. A plot device is anything that happens to change the status quo or move the story in a particular direction. In this video, we'll go through 6 core plot devices that you can use to move the plot of your story forward. Let's dive in. Plot device number 1, cliffhangers. Cliffhangers are probably the most frequently used plot device in manga for a reason. They're incredibly effective. They're when you end a scene or chapter in the midst of intense action, a shocking piece of information, or a critical moment, leaving your reader desperate to know what happens next. This creates immediate suspense and encourages readers to pick up the next installment. It's the just one more chapter effect that keeps your audience hooked. Here's how you can use cliffhangers effectively. Avoid repetitive cliffhangers. If every chapter ends with the hero about to die, it can become predictable. Mix it up. You can use cliffhangers for a shocking reveal, like a character's secret identity which gets exposed, or a past event that now makes sense with new information, or an intriguing question. A character could ask a question that has massive implications. And make sure the cliffhanger connects to the next chapter. They should naturally lead into the next section. Plot device number 2, flashbacks. A flashback is a sudden, vivid re-experiencing of a past event, usually triggered through a memory. Flashbacks are your secret weapon for providing essential background information and context. They reveal past events that directly influence the present storyline, giving clarity to your characters and their motivations. Flashbacks are especially effective for building character arcs, particularly for revealing your character's ghost. The ghost is that past trauma that creates a lie a character believes about themselves. This lie often drives their actions and initiates their character arc as they learn to grow out of that lie and accept the truth. You can use flashbacks to explain a character's behavior. For example, you might ask, why is this character so afraid of water? A flashback can show a childhood event of a near drowning incident. You can also reveal the origin of a conflict. Maybe you're writing a fantasy story and readers wonder, how did the ancient rivalry between two factions begin? Here, the flashback of a key character would be quite useful. But what you want to avoid is info dumps. You should weave flashbacks organically into the narrative. The reader shouldn't feel like they are reading a textbook. It should seem like they are discovering a major secret. Plot device number 3, foreshadowing. Foreshadowing is your way of hinting at future events, creating anticipation and allowing your readers to make predictions, or even just feel a sense of dread or excitement about what's to come. Skillful manga artists do this subtly, through information revealed in conversation. A character might let slip a piece of information that seems trivial at the time, seemingly insignificant panels, a brief shot of an object, a location, or a minor character that later plays a major role, or symbolism, recurring sayings or imagery that hint at deeper meanings. Here's how you can use foreshadowing. 1. Plant seeds early. Introduce elements that will be important later on, but don't make them too obvious. 2. Make it subtle. The best foreshadowing is often missed on the first read, but becomes clear on a reread. It makes the reader feel clever for noticing it. 3. Vary your methods. Use dialogue, visual cues, prophecies, and even dreams to foreshadow. 4. Don't overdo it. Too much foreshadowing can make the story predictable. Find a balance. 5. Connect it to a major twist in the story. Foreshadowing is often the precursor to a satisfying plot twist. Plot device number 4, plot twists. Plot twists are those unexpected events that completely change the direction of your story, keeping your readers on their toes and preventing your narrative from becoming predictable. They're the aha moments that make your story unforgettable. A well-executed plot twist can recontextualize everything a reader thought they knew about your hero or villain. Plot device number 5, Deus Ex Machina. Deus Ex Machina, or God from the Machine, is a sudden, improbable event that resolves a seemingly impossible situation. This is the equivalent of a writer using a miracle to get them out of a corner that they wrote themselves into. And while it can be used, it's often criticized for feeling artificial and unearned. Be very careful. Executing this poorly can completely ruin a story for a reader because it feels like the author wrote themselves into a corner and then used a magic wand to get out of it. If you are going to use Deus Ex Machina in your story, remember this. 1. Foreshadowing is critical. If you must use a Deus Ex Machina, you absolutely need to hint at its possibility earlier in the story. It shouldn't be entirely out of the blue. 2. Connect it to the world's rules. Even if the event seems improbable, the solution should ideally align with the established logic of your world, however loosely. 3. Consider the tone. In a comedic or absurd story, a Deus Ex Machina might fit better than in a gritty, realistic drama. 4. Look for better alternatives. Before resorting to a Deus Ex Machina, ask yourself, is there a way for the characters to overcome this using their established abilities, intelligence, or help from existing allies? Plot device number 6, Chekhov's gun. Chekhov's gun is a writing principle named after the Russian playwright Anton Chekhov. It states that every element introduced into a story should be relevant. If you show a gun on the wall in the first act, it should be fired by the third act. Chekhov's gun doesn't always mean a literal gun. It can be a character's unique skill, a piece of information, a symbolic object, or even a character's specific backstory. This means that any object, skill, piece of information, or character you introduce should have a purpose and be used later in the narrative. This plot device is generally good practice to follow because it rewards attentive readers, makes your world feel more cohesive, and prevents your story from feeling cluttered with unnecessary unnecessary details. Here's how to use Chekhov's gun effectively. When you introduce something new, ask yourself, how will this be used later? What role will it play? Ensure that the elements you introduce actually pay off. Don't forget about that magical amulet you showed in chapter 5 when you reach chapter 50, and make sure to avoid the opposite. The opposite of Chekhov's gun is a plot hole or a dangling thread, elements that are introduced and never explained or used. If this video was helpful, please give it a like. Also, click the link in the description to join our Discord community where you can share your ideas, improve your writing, and connect with fellow creators.